With that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back the balance of his time. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Ohio.
Mr. Speaker, the other side of the aisle would have us believe that this shutdown is somehow a Republican-engineered shutdown. They would have you believe that the government only shuts down with Republican leadership, and we know that that's not the case. The government shuts down when there's a failure of the democratic process to work and parties to negotiate in good faith and the deliberative process of democracy to move forward. The president has absolutely shut that down with his refusal to negotiate. Now, the government shut the government down a total of 8 times for 14 days. So Democrat-controlled Congress actually shut the government down a total of 8 times for 14 days. So Democrat-controlled Congress actually shut the government down under Reagan for longer than it has been shut down now. And again, under Mr. Clinton, of course, the House also shut the government down. And in each of those instances, there was something different than what's now, and that is that there were negotiations going on. President Reagan was negotiating with the House and the Senate. President Clinton was negotiating with the House and Senate. But this president says absolutely no negotiations. Now, this president will negotiate with Syria. He'll negotiate with Iran. He'll even have secret negotiations with Russia and seek secret deals. But he will not negotiate with the legislature. Now, what won't he negotiate over? He won't negotiate over the debt limit. He wants to take the country from $17 trillion to $19 trillion in debt. No negotiations. He won't negotiate on his sequestration. In my community, there were 12,000 people that were furloughed. The president will not negotiate on his sequester. The president will not negotiate on funding the government. We have sent countless bills over to the Senate that would reopen the national parks, that would fund veterans, that would allow the Washington, D.C. to spend its own funds. And Harry Reid heartlessly has said in response to these bills that would provide needed services, why would we do that? But we know that the president is playing politics. This House and the Senate passed Pay Our Military Act. It was signed by the President of the United States. I have 2 letters I'd like entered into the record to Secretary Hagel and to the President questioning why he would have furloughed 400,000 DoD workers when he had signed the Pay Our Military Act. 8,700 workers in my community were furloughed. Now, how do we know that they were playing politics? By letting the Department of Defense employees go, even though that the president had full authority to fund them? Because he's going to be calling them back. He's calling them back without any other passage of any other law or any other law that he signs. So clearly the president is admitting that he's been playing politics with these furloughs, and it needs to stop. It also needs to stop so that our federal workers do not have to worry about their pay. They do not have to worry about the impacts on their personal lives. They have child care expenses, house payments to make, kids that are in college, and while the president refuses to negotiate while he's playing politics, they shouldn't worry about whether or not they can make ends meet. I encourage my colleagues to support H.R. 3223 that would restore the pay to federal workers and ensure that they have the security that they need. I yield back the balance of our time.
Gentleman yields back the balance of his time. All time for debate has expired.